and welcome back to another episode of To the Magic and Beyond. My name is Jordan, and I'm here with my co-host, Michelle.
Hey.
And we've also got producer Courtney and producer Logan here with us. Say hello.
Hello.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Trying to channel my Irish
I was
accent.
going to say, you feel like you're inspired today.
Maybe.
Well, today we're coming at you with another movie review, but a little bit different in the sense of this will be our first time getting to review a Universal motion picture.
And I'm super excited. Everybody be shocked.
Because obviously our last two have been the Disney live action remakes that have come out recently, and I think this is the first time, I could be wrong, but I think this is the first time that we're seeing a Universal live action remake of one of their animated features.
I think this is
their first kind of go.
Their first go at it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we thought that, we've been doing all the live remake reviews anyways. We thought it would be fun to go ahead and go see this since it's Universal's first time, and to give y'all a little bit just different content. We know we have a lot of Universal fans out there too, and so we wanted to go ahead and review How to Train Your Dragon.
Yes. It's so, I really liked it the first time I saw it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't remember what year. Anybody know what year it came out?
No, that would have...
Yeah, no, we probably should have looked that up, guys.
Whoops.
Hey, you can look that up on your own there, listeners. But yeah, it was, I remember going, I know it was pre-2013.
Yeah, it's probably going to make us feel old.
2000?
Yeah.
Wait, let's take a guess. What's your guesses?
2010?
I'll go with 2010, 2011, something like that.
Just say 2010.
2010.
It's 2010.
Oh, yes!
You both got it right. I didn't want Courtney to be the
I
only
knew
one that
it was.
wrong.
I knew it was pre-2013 because
2010 in March.
Courtney graduated in 2013, and Katie. And I remember when I took Katie was in junior high, so that that makes So it
fits the timeline.
Yeah, and
That's
and
a
I
long
really
time ago.
enjoyed it then.
Yeah.
And I can remember a few different non-Disney animateds that I really like.
Oh, yeah.
Like Madagascar.
Yeah.
That's
so cute.
hilarious.
Shrek.
Shrek. And there were sequels with the Madagascars.
Mm-hmm.
So they were really funny and really cute. I like Despicable Me. So there's several different ones in there.
Mm-hmm.
So not all Disney, not all music, right? Not all with a sing-along. But this one I really liked. So I went back. I actually would like to just vocalize this on the air. I did my homework.
Woo! First time for everything.
There it is. That's what all my teachers would say if they were on here. So I actually did my homework, watched it Saturday night, really enjoyed it again, was super excited, and then we went today.
Yeah, it is. The original animated version is so well done. It's such a cute movie. You can't help but fall in love with Toothless. Like, we were all talking about how we all want our own little plush Toothless now,
Excited.
The original animated, so good. Such a great movie, a lot to live up to. So, but who doesn't want a live action dragon movie? So it makes sense that they...
And dragons are like my thing. So Pete's Dragon, I still really like that. And then just kind of in general, like, The Hobbit, Harry Potter has a dragon in it. I really like dragons. I think they're really cool. And so when this came out, it was a dragon movie. So I think there was a movie called Aragon.
Yes, there was.
And I read the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
novel.
book, and that was made into a movie, but it didn't do as well in
It
theaters.
didn't, and I thought it was really well done.
I liked
and
it
the
too.
dragon was really cool. And
Yeah.
the dragon egg. So anyhow,
Yeah.
completely not about this, but dragons are cool, and I think society as a whole has this love affair with dragons and medieval times and all that kind of thing. And this was Vikings, which aren't really fun-loving, friendly folks.
Neither dragons and Vikings can go either way in most movies. Sometimes they're the bad guys, sometimes they're the good guys. In this case, we have the Vikings as seemingly the good guys, and the dragons as seemingly the bad guys. And get to go on that journey and see if there's maybe some misunderstandings there.
Yeah, exactly. Like we've got Frozen now that's over in Norway.
Yeah.
But they're not very Viking-like.
You're right.
And they replaced the Viking ride there.
Yeah.
So like anyhow, I guess you can make them as fun-loving as you want. These Vikings are funny.
Funny. Very funny.
And
but also like very broad.
Very, very, very broad.
Big.
Except for a few
The
of
young ones.
our friends here
Yeah.
on the table. The
Yeah.
young ones take a minute to
Everyone
beef up.
else in the village is like bulk.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'll go first in saying that overall, I thought they killed it. I think they knocked it out of the park. I loved the cartoon version and loved this version. Like, I thought it was so good. It was cool getting to see something like that brought to life.
Do we want to take a moment for spoiler alerts?
Yeah, I mean, as with all movie reviews, there's a chance we're going to give you a spoiler, but they can't really spoil this one.
It's a
If
remake.
you've seen the original,
If you've seen the original,
you won't be spoiled.
Yeah.
So, one of
if you've not seen How to Train a Dragon at all,
then you should probably stop.
then you
But-
you may want to stop if you
Yeah,
really
maybe.
care.
Some
but
people don't care, though.
Otherwise, you're good.
Yeah, otherwise you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
Because I think one of the things that we had heard going into this and we can now, vouch for is this is essentially a shot-for-shot remake
Yeah.
of the cartoon.
Just with people.
Just with live
And
people
great-
and CGI.
Yes. Great CGI. And I think that, look, Universal is the little brother, right? In Orlando. That they're the little brother in Orlando and California. That's who they are. They aspire to be as great
Yeah.
as Big Brother Disney. What I will say for them is that, number one, when they go into making movies, I feel like they do not, they're like little brother. They really don't put a lot of pressure on themselves that they think that everything's going to be knocked out of the park, right? And then number two, I think they have watched what Disney has done with the live action remakes
And learned.
and learned that really what people want really is the exact like if I really liked How to Train a Dragon and you're going to turn it into
a live
action, I really want the storyline to stay the same. I mean, I think that's different than like books. For example,
Right.
Harry Potter, right? Okay, guys, there's no little Reed in Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
So when you do a movie, you could have the Lonesome Dove epic where it goes on for days, right? One movie takes like 5 days.
Yeah.
Or they're going to have to cut things out.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be word for word, right? This is different. And so I think they learned from the mistakes that Disney has made. Not on, I mean, again, huge Disney fan, not a Disney apologist. They make mistakes.
And we've enjoyed some and we've not enjoyed some of the live action.
I think you guys liked Aladdin.
But that was not for you.
It was not for me. I felt like it was terrible. And then, like, The Lion King. I know Courtney and
I didn't like it.
It was
Yeah, it
terrible.
wasn't my fave.
And that was the
Question,
whole
because I
music.
haven't seen that one yet. Did they attempt somewhat of a shot for shot there with that, or did they just attempt to make the lions as close to real lions and therefore emotionless?
It was probably one of their closer shot for shots.
Except
there
the
wasn't a
music.
lot of difference. The music changed
wondering.
and
I think
but
the
it was
music hurt really bad. And when I say that, I just mean the music with The Lion King, because that was a huge part of The Lion King, right? The music, Elton John, like, it's a big deal. And it was epic. Mixing them up there. But it was an epic production, right? And nothing had ever been done like The Lion King with the like everything. I mean, Disney really, they knocked The Lion King out of the park with the animated version. But then when they did the remake, I think they got in their own head and they were trying to figure out a way to make that just as epic instead of making it just the same. I mean, they literally could have just used the soundtrack from the one. I mean, I don't work. I'm obviously not Elton John's manager.
right.
I don't really know where they're going to have to pay him a second time, but who they did pay for the music, and that was Beyonce. And I'm not anti-Beyonce, so don't be sending us hate mail. But I think they did her a disservice because it was not a great representation of her. So I think that they kind of went at it that way. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Some people may have loved
curious.
it. Like Mufasa, I thought was fabulous. We did
Right.
that. We talked about that when we did that movie review. I thought
And
it
that
was
one's
great.
a complete original.
Complete original,
So-
not a redo. But I think if you were hung up on Lion King, maybe the music was not as epic. I mean, I kind of liked it. Y'all want to get that stuck in your head? That song?
Not right now.
Do it, Logan. You know you want to.
Which one?
You know our friends.
Always wanted a brother.
There's that one.
Bye-bye.
No, yeah, that's the one.
Bye bye.
I knew which one. I just wanted to throw out the other one.
But
So, yeah,
with
go ahead.
this, line by line, I too think they knocked it out of the park. They kept the script the same.
Yeah, I mean, it was literally like we watched it probably 2 days ago. So it was
Original.
the original one, and it was very fresh in my head. And so in my mind, I was like, okay, next should be this scene, and next should be this line, and it was always like, yep, there it is. Like,
Love that. I kind of wondered how they were going to, the fish scene.
Yes.
Or
I was about to
gosh.
bring that up.
And he's gonna
was so
feed, and he's gonna in the animated version, it's so cute because he's like, no, and he's like,
yes,
Yes.
please eat the fish.
come on,
this
I'm
raw
sharing.
fish.
Like
that
we're gonna
was
be
in
friends.
my
If we're gonna be
mouth.
friends, I need you to eat it. And Toothless is so cute because like he's torn. You can tell he's torn. Like I want to share. Like if we're gonna be friends, you have to eat this too. But I'm really hungry. I kind of want it.
Yeah.
And so, but then, like, he eats it and then he spits it out and spits it on him. And so they did that really well in this
Yeah.
one because he had to eat a bite of the fish head. Toothless is still hungry. So I thought that was really good. The music.
So yeah, the score for this was already incredible, like in the animated, but getting to see it with like the live action imagery, it
Yes.
was just so
And the
good.
landscape. I mean,
Yes.
it's just the colors, so vivid and green.
Have to go to
and-
Ireland now.
Yeah, it's just so great. And so like you like it, like I wanted to be there. I could live there on the side of this mountain.
Yeah.
And I like dragons. So like it's a win-win. And so I thought they did really, really good. I thought the casting was very good. We were kind of talking about that when,
We'll get to
we
that.
were doing a little show prep. But the casting was really good. I thought Hiccup, they couldn't have
Great.
done better.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't know. I mean, is he in anything that anybody knows
Mason
about?
Thames is his name.
Yeah, he's new.
Go Mason.
He's a new. Well, I think he had done maybe one or two things before this, and it's kind of on the rise. But this is the biggest project that he's been a part of. But
And
I
Astrid,
mean,
has she been in
I
anything?
don't know her from anything.
Okay.
I think a lot of the younger talent in this was one of their bigger
Yeah.
projects,
And they did.
which is great too. I love
Yeah.
when they find
New folks.
newer folks.
right.
Um,
And I thought they did really good with that. Dad, the chief, I
Yeah.
thought he was excellent.
I thought that was so cool to see Gerard Butler as like outside of Stitch's voice in Lilo. I feel like this is probably the first time in a live action that we've seen an actor who did the voice, the original voice acting as the actual character. And I thought that was unique and really cool.
And I like him anyway.
Yeah, I was like, who doesn't love Gerard Butler? You know.
Like, he's good. He's good.
Yeah, they made in the way they made his character look exactly like Stoic
Yep.
in the animated. Like it was
Yeah.
great. He did a great job.
Just to update, Mason Thames is fairly new to the scene, and he shows that he was the lead in a horror movie. So
Oh.
he's got versatility. They've said,
He's
but
got versatility.
that's what it said on here. That's what it said. The girl that played Astrid, Nico Parker is her name. She was actually in. You guys may have heard of this. Tim Burton's live action remake of Dumbo.
Oh.
I don't know that I
2019.
saw that actually.
Oh, no idea.
She was also in the first season of The Last of Us on HBO.
Oh, I've heard of that show.
So she's
Yeah.
been in some
Done
It's
stuff.
some
so
things.
sad.
Oh, I haven't seen it actually.
The live action Dumbo was a
I
win.
bet it would be so
But
sad.
like that's a Disney. That was a live action that did really well. It's
Yeah.
like get really sad. Like, have you seen Dumbo?
Yes, of course.
Did
I've
you
seen
watch
Dumbo.
the original
Yeah,
Dumbo?
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm
No.
sure he
I
has
just-
not.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll work on it.
but here's the thing.
Dumbo is one of Jordan's favorites.
Okay, what did you? But like, it had been a really long time since I'd seen Dumbo. When you
Mm-hmm.
think of Dumbo, what do you think?
Just the cute elephant.
Yeah, and the ride.
But it does
right?
have a lot of
Like, it's
sadness.
so happy.
Yeah.
It's
The story is very
terrible.
sad, yeah.
It's so sad. And
Yeah.
so I didn't go rewatch Dumbo before I went to
Right.
watch the live action. And so I was like, this is so depressing. This is terrible. Like, It's like the old school Disney where everything's bad. Like the kid loses its mom and everything's just terrible. Everything's terrible. And then you're like, well, happily ever after.
Yeah.
You know, like Snow White.
Yeah.
The woodsman's
Figure
going
it
to chop
out.
your head off. Bring your heart back. So, yeah, but they did. I thought the casting was great. The animation, well, not the animation, but the CGI was great. The colors, where they got all the landscaping was fabulous. And so I think, it was a win.
Yeah, it was great.
To follow Stitch, Lilo and Stitch, I thought they did just fine.
Yeah.
And that was a huge Disney win, right? Disney hasn't had a huge win in a while.
In a while, yeah.
They had a huge win with Lilo. Now, I don't know about, is it Elio?
Yeah, I don't
Is
know
that how
how
we're
you're
saying
saying
it?
but it's not doing so good.
It had a great opening weekend.
Yeah.
Because I think it was the only thing, right, for kids.
Yeah.
But like this is gonna blow that out of the water.
Oh, for sure.
Because people know this.
How to Train Your Dragon's done great, and everyone loves it. And like again, they literally did it.
And
shot
you already
for shot.
liked
so if you liked the cartoon, you're gonna like this because it's really good.
Yep.
I did want to go back and touch on the fish scene. I don't know what Courtney had to add to it, but one of the things I had seen was because like dragons and like all this stuff, I had heard it might be a little intense for like younger kids because having it all like be live action, it makes everything a little bit more intense. You know, you see it a little bit different when it's not a cartoon.
Yeah.
You know, but when we got to the fish scene where he eats the fish head, I was like, that is a scene where in the movie as a animated feature, like it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Like you can be like, he's eating a live fish, but
Yeah.
you move on because it's just this like
This
you know,
is
it's a
like
cartoon. It's not
like a real
real.
fish.
And in the actual movie, I was like, I was like, that scene.
Well, and when it's like white on his lips,
I couldn't.
you know, when
Yeah.
the leftover.
Like,
The,
looked
the
away.
meat of the fish was stuck on his lips.
Yeah, I was waiting. I was waiting for him to go
Yeah.
just because it's there, or
Yeah.
to
He did
wipe
eventually
it, right?
wipe his mouth,
And
but it
took
sat
him
there.
a while, but it
Yeah.
sat there, and I thought, oh, dude, get that off.
But, like,
that's bad.
That's acting.
I will say, like, all four of us, like, audibly cringed when we finished that fish
Yeah.
head because it was like, it's just so realistic. And
Well, and of course,
at that
it was
point, like,
covered in spit,
Yeah.
dragon spit.
Yeah.
Right? Like GI juices.
yeah, I mean, they made it very realistic to what it
Yes.
probably would have been like to
Yep.
try to take a bite out of a raw fish head that had been partially eaten by a dragon.
When Mason Thames listens to our podcast, he's gonna be like, "That's it. That's why I did it. I did it for the
was all
fans, and it
good.
worked."
Yeah.
Did you have anything else
No.
about that you wanted to bring up?
So
That's enough.
what'd you think, Court?
Oh, I really enjoyed it. It was exactly like the cartoon, and I don't know. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Y'all pretty much
I love-
covered the whole
yeah.
thing.
I
so-
loved it. We'll go back into some details and just share some stories or talk a little bit because we got plenty of time. But for me, watching it 2 nights ago, the original, I was like, Jordan, I want to see what's coming next. Yep, that matches. Yep, that matches. Whether they've intentionally learned from Disney's or not, it's very interesting and ironic.
like
Oh,
they
it's
did.
intentional.
That they were like, okay, here's our first one, and it's shot for shot. Here's everything.
Yeah.
There are plenty of people out there that also complain about shot for shot. They want
Yeah.
something new. So we've decided after Snow White, but especially after Lilo, you're never going to please everybody.
No.
Now we all know that happen. That's everyday life. But with these movies, you can release the shot for shot and people are going to complain because there's no new content. You can release a little bit of new and people are going to complain, well, we wanted shot for shot. You can release a lot of new and people are going to get so upset because you changed their favorite. It's just never going to please everybody, so just get over it.
Yep.
And then go pick the ones you like, and the ones you don't like, just don't worry about it. It's not for you then. That's
Right.
fine.
And I think I
but
agree.
this one was their first attempt at it and it was shot for shot.
Yeah.
That's what a lot
And
of
it
people
was
have asked
great.
for.
was
And it was
awesome.
great. You got
Yeah,
to
but
see
like
a
if
great
you were
movie
looking
come
for
to life.
new,
You probably didn't like it.
you're not gonna like it.
If you were looking
Spoiler.
for new, we'll point out a couple of tiny little differences here
Yeah.
in a minute
And
for you
they're
to go
tiny,
look
folks.
for.
Yeah.
And then other than that,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it depends. And I'm going to be honest. If you've not watched the original in 15 years or 10 years, no, 10 years, it'd be 10, right? Whatever.
no, it's 15,
it's
2010.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2000. Yeah. So in 15 years, you're not even going to notice the differences.
Yeah. You
Like you
again,
will think it's just the same
you would-
because they're
yeah.
very small and they don't really change the storyline at all. Because
Yeah.
like when you look at Snow White, we all enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
We all agreed that we would take it for what it was, but it was different,
Mm-hmm.
a lot different, right?
Yeah.
And so we were okay with that, and we gave
Yeah.
it a positive review, right?
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I mean, I think that you're going to take from it, and we're going to get into some details that were really cool or we all really liked. I don't think any of us didn't like anything.
No.
I don't think there was anything. Oh, well, there always has to be one guy.
I had one little.
I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I had one little teeny tiny thing
that you didn't like?
that I didn't.
Well,
like.
let's go there. Let's go. Okay, so
go.
what didn't you
So
like,
it's-
Jordan?
Do you want me to go first, or?
Yeah, well, I was just going to add on to Michelle there and say that if you absolutely don't need to see the original to see this, because it's the same movie. Now, if you want to go watch it and compare them, or if you just want to watch it because you want a refresher because it's such a great, I loved the original.
Or if you just like,
It's a great DreamWorks
That's
movie.
the thing. Like, if
DreamWorks.
you're into animated films, everyone in this room is. Logan's
This is a
probably
great
newer
one.
to them. We're bringing him along.
I've been watching them longer than them two. They two.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But
Just because I'm older.
but the thing is that, like, you know, if you're watching it because you love the original and you want to see a live action, then great. Or if you're one of those people that thinks you're too old to watch animated movies anymore, then go watch this
Yeah.
because it's really
It's
good.
so good.
Yeah.
So
All
good.
right. So
Okay, let's go there. Jordan, do you can or do you want me to? What do you say?
I'll go ahead.
You got it. I
Yeah.
know which one you're going to talk about.
So, so the only thing that bugged me just a smidge was, again, when we have these cartoons and we have stuff like this, like, we get these characters like ingrained in our brain of how
Yeah.
they're supposed to look, right?
Yeah.
And literally everything else about the movie, from the scenery to the dragons to all the other Vikings, like Stoic,
The tail
on
Toothless.
like,
Yeah.
everything was so spot on, exactly like you pictured it.
And Hiccup.
And Hiccup, the actor nailed it.
Dad.
He is the
Everything.
human version of what that looks
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
But then you get to his little group of friends.
Well, hang on. I mean, not really his friends.
Well, yes, they're not
His
really
peers.
The other peers.
The other
His
peers.
peers.
They become
other
his
main
friends
characters.
later on.
They
but-
become his friends.
Yeah, at
but they're
first they're
not
kind of
friends.
bullies.
Yeah.
And every single one of them, except for, remind me, of his name?
Snotlout.
Snotlout, which is like the
He's the little shorter guy who
brown
thinks he's
hair,
impressive.
Also in love with Astrid. Every single one of them looked completely different than
Yep.
the cartoon character.
They did.
And so in a movie where everything else is like shot for shot exactly the same, to me it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. That, like, here's the only thing that's different. Which was fine. Like, I adjusted to it eventually, but kind of
Yeah.
that first scene where they introduce all of them and he's like, this
Yeah.
is so-and-so and this is so-and-so. And I'm like, that's
I wasn't sure it was them.
so-and-so.
I thought it was someone else at first.
Because especially, like, so you have Rough Nut and Tough Nut, who are the twins, right? And in the movie, they look almost exactly identical.
Yep.
They look
Just
like
a little bit
twins.
different, and they're twins. And they've got, like, the long blonde
They're
hair.
both tall and skinny.
Both tall and skinny. And they're, like, kind of this, like, surfer dude. Like,
Yeah.
huss up. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Yep.
they're kind of this,
Yeah.
like, laid back, you know. And, so it's just, like, you have this picture of how it's supposed to look. And it's fine that they went a different direction. I don't mind that. Like,
Right.
I adjusted to it
Right.
eventually. But it kind of stuck out initially. But as far as, like, the characters go, like, Fish Legs, he played it exactly the same.
Fish Legs is the big chubby one that knows all the facts about the dragons,
Yes,
and he
yes.
played that so well.
He did
He
play
really
it
did.
so
but
well.
he
He knew all
looked a
his
little different. I
facts.
mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he was a big boy, but he had curly black hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made him a real big boy.
Yes, he's a real
Yes.
big boy.
Yeah. Astrid played it the same. She's the tough,
Yep.
you know,
But
she's out
completely
here.
is not the same.
Yeah.
Looks completely
Looks
different.
completely different. Again, but it's fine. Like, the character overall was the same, blah, blah. So eventually I got used to it. The one thing I did not get used to and I did not love was the twins.
Yep.
I felt like Rough Nut and Tough Nut were just completely different characters.
Yeah.
They didn't
Yeah.
look like twins other
They
than the
really-
fact that they both had red hair.
And Red's not even right.
Yeah, they have blonde in the original, which is, it's fine, but they played the characters so different.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, they were very whiny.
I thought Tough Nut, the boy, also was very overly cocky. Like, so
Yes.
Snotlout,
Yeah.
that's his character. He's kind of cocky, but it comes from
Yeah,
nowhere
that's
because
kinda
he's
his
not-
role.
But Tough Nut, the boy, was very cocky, and that was not him in the original.
Yeah, he in the
He was just
original, just like
annoying
this
in
laid
this one.
back.
Well,
like,
they're a bunch of klutzes.
Yeah.
Like they're not even like
Yeah.
in this, like in that was something that was a little different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in this, they're all a bunch of rejects.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just what they are.
Yeah.
Like they're except for maybe Astrid. I think it's a group of people
little
who
misfits.
they're all misfits.
Mm-hmm.
She's not a misfit. She's probably the best dragon slayer potential we got here.
Yeah.
And but in the other, you don't quite see it like that.
As
Hiccup
much.
really,
Yeah, Hiccup
like
really
it's not that
sticks
like
out.
if you pay attention to it, you're going, well, they're the cool kids.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the only kids for at that age, evidently.
Yeah.
And Hiccup is the only one that's slightly,
Yeah.
he's obviously different.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought that they were. I mean, it wasn't, and I think we kind of talked about this, and it's completely fine. It's diverse.
Yeah.
They
And
brought
again,
diversity to the table, and they did it in such a way that we did notice.
Yeah, but it turned out fine because, like I said, the characters were played the same way everywhere
Overall.
except the twins.
Yep.
And so I just found myself I love them.
Yeah.
Like
And
they're so funny, even just like walking around the park at Epic Universe.
That's what I was gonna
like
say.
you interact with them there. Like
Yeah.
we have a little video where I was just videoing them like interacting with someone, and Rough Nut, which is the girl, turned and like saw me videoing, and she was like, sup? Like, you know, like
We weren't even going to see him. We were like 30 feet away, and she saw us and was like,
Yeah.
but
"Oh
like
hey, what's
be
up?"
like, oh hey, yeah, that's what she did. Was oh hey, but like I feel like
and they
out
look
of
exactly like the characters.
I feel
Yeah.
like out of
Epic.
all of the groups, like they have the most like unique and iconic personalities in the whole out of all, like they all have their own little quirks, but they just like really stuck out to me in the animated version. And I feel like just the way they got played, and it's actors' choice. I get that. You know, they wanted to play it a little differently. I respect that. Just for me, they were the only two that really stuck out like sore thumbs
Different.
to me. Is like they didn't look the same, and then they also acted the parts really different, because like essentially you really do fall in love with the whole gang by
Yep.
the end of the movie, even though they're kind of mean at the beginning, whatever. But like I didn't find myself loving them at the end of the movie. Like I could kind of take them or leave them.
The twin brother was my least favorite character. Easy.
And then what was your
So
negative,
annoying.
Logan?
That was what I was going to say as well. That we were talking about
Yeah.
from earlier.
Yeah.
The I don't want to say just the casting, but literally this core group of all main character peers were all so different. I mean, Hiccup and then Snotlout was similar, but like everything else was different about them, and there was no need, especially with the twins, to make them not look alike, have red hair, and not act the same.
It didn't
just
really
did-
change
and
the
it annoyed
storyline.
me. Like the
Yeah.
boy annoyed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was really annoying, where he could have just been funny and goofy, and we would have
Yeah,
been fine.
like I feel like they're just kind of just such iconic characters from the movie that I missed it,
Yeah.
and I just didn't end up.
And when you
loving
see
their
them
characters.
in the park in Epic, and all of them look the part of the original movie,
Yeah.
and act it, it's like we could have done it.
Yeah. You
but we
had
didn't.
them.
So that's the only thing I didn't love about it.
And again, everyone else did great. I like everyone else acted their parts so
Yeah.
well. It was the same
Yeah.
characters. It was the same feeling. Totally didn't mind the diversity and just
Yeah.
switching it up. Not saying that at all. I felt like the twins just like those were the only characters where I felt like I didn't get the same. When everything else was so shot for shot, and all the other characters were delivered
Right.
so much like you're used to it.
And then
They
your
were
favorite
so
characters.
yeah, they were so
weren't the
drastically
same, yeah.
different that I was like, oh, I feel like we missed an opportunity here to
Exactly.
have like these two standout roles
Yeah.
that like now it's just kind of average, and you
what
have
about you?
other
Did you have
favorites.
anything that stood out to you that you
Well,
didn't
not
like,
a
or that was
negative. I've
different?
got something that stands out good, but Courtney, did you have a negative?
I didn't really have a negative. I obviously noticed the character differences, but it didn't really.
Yeah, it didn't throw
It
you
didn't
off
really.
as much.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really liked is that, especially with the group, if you're watching on video, you can see our little group of
Yeah,
our
shout
little
out to
friends
my,
here. Our decor has
Yeah,
changed.
Shout
to
out to my
dragons.
nephew Colt that let us borrow all of his How
Yeah,
to Train
Colt.
Your Dragon figurines.
We're gonna play with these a little bit in a little bit.
These are really, really cool
We like 'em.
figurines with the people that attach to them. So if
Yeah.
you're watching on YouTube,
Check them out.
They're
these
cool.
are really cool. And we've got 2 toothlesses because
Yeah,
Colt gave us 2.
This one is, and this one has the dragon, the correct tail for toothless.
Yes.
But the one thing is, every one of these characters kind of has something to prove.
Yeah.
Because they're, like we said, they're all kind of misfits in their own way, whether it's like internal or external.
Yeah.
Like, I think Astrid is a girl in a man's world. She's obviously fighting to be a Viking.
Yeah.
And she's trying to be a dragon slayer, and she's trying to prove herself.
She's
and
trying to
her
be
work.
the chief.
She's trying, she
She
wants
said
to
that.
be the chief. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, she wants Hiccup's house because she tells him. But,
Which I think
but
is also
it's
a new detail.
Yeah.
I don't remember her
I don't
saying
remember that either.
Those are
That was
some
a
of the
little
new
different.
little things.
But I
Yeah.
liked it. But the other thing is Snotlout.
Correct.
So
Good job.
if you trying.
can't
So when you're watching these guys, well, at least him interact with his dad, because you see the relationship with Hiccup and his dad, right? He's a complete failure.
Yeah.
He he ruins everything.
The
He's got all
opposite
these
of a Viking.
inventions. He is, scrawny. But I mean, other than our little plump friend, everybody else was not necessarily Viking material either.
Yeah, they're
you know
all
what I'm
kind
saying?
of skinny
I'm looking at
squirts.
them going, I mean, no dragon scared of you.
Yeah.
Okay. But the relationship with Snotlout's dad, like, he doesn't even make eye contact with him. It's like this whole
Or
thing.
acknowledge
Or
him.
acknowledge him. It's almost like he's embarrassed of him too, right? Even though Chief is the only one really saying out loud, because Hiccup talks about it, like you just said, like, essentially that's all of me.
Yeah.
You just gestured at all of me.
It's all of me. And Dad goes, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you. It's the whole thing.
It's all wrong.
And Snotlout kind of, you can tell he's trying to prove himself too. I mean, he's completely going about everything the wrong way. He's completely annoying, like, but he's that friend that you have that tries really hard
Yeah.
and just has a big
Tries
mouth.
too hard.
Has a
And
big
likes
mouth.
your girl.
Yeah, likes your girl.
Can I point out two quick things about Snotlout? First of all, that was one of the differences I had because there's Snotlout's dad's not in the first
Yeah,
one.
we actually
Yeah.
don't see
So
Right.
that
You don't.
that
animated.
story, which progresses over the course of the movie, and
Yep.
he and his dad have a moment just like Hiccup and his dad. I thought that was
Yeah.
really
I
cool.
really
I
liked
liked
that.
it.
Really emotional moment. That's something they added because I
Yep.
don't think Snotlout's dad was a part of it. Also, just because it's funny, Snotlout's father's name is Spitelout, which I think just in
But-
spite of, like that's, I
Right.
thought that was a funny
But
name.
like with
ahead.
that though, I think that it just showed that our little misfits here, and you don't see. Well, you do see the twins' dad, right? Was he? Did we see him?
I don't think
Did we not see him?
I feel like we saw a parent, but maybe not. Let
We
me see.
did see a parent standing up on the top
Yeah.
around the, what do we call it, the battle in
Yeah, the little
the
fire.
arena.
Fire.
Oh, we're terrible. Fire.
It was the drag, or maybe that was a trials. Though.
Trial of
but their
Fire.
little battleground.
Yeah, their
thing.
little battleground there in the arena.
Yeah.
I feel like the dad is up there.
Might
I
have
feel
been.
like up there near the elder person up there. Anyhow, but we don't see anybody for Astrid. Like it's all. I think you kind of get
almost like she's on her own.
orphan.
I feel like she mentioned that she had
I'm on my own.
no one.
Yeah.
And I think she says, like, you have this,
I've
you
had to-
have this.
yeah,
I've had to work
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
everything I'm doing, and you just keep falling into it. Well, of course, he's like, have it.
Yeah.
I think he says that.
He's like, you
Good
can
for
have it.
you.
Fine.
Please have it because I
don't want it.
whatever. But I thought that they did highlight the relationships and the
Yeah.
redeeming qualities of everyone. Look, as a parent, and I'm the only one in the room that is, you're going to be wrong. You're going to say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing. And the most important thing you can do, and I think this is just a human thing, is when you know you're wrong,
Yeah.
just say you're wrong. And I think that's what happens here. Like the dad realizes he's wrong. Hiccup showing him a different way. He's open to something different. And that's kind of where we go. So, yeah, I thought it was a hit out of the park. I'll go first rating it. What's our scale?
1 to 5.
1 to 5.
5?
Yeah, unless we're changing our scale at any point. We,
No,
well, we
I'm
might have to go up
laughing.
to 6 because of last time. But
Yeah.
no, 1 to 5. Real quick, it says that the twins' parents are not mentioned.
They're not
are
mentioned,
named
okay.
or mentioned.
All right.
They are named in the original, but only by the last, like Mr. and Mrs. whatever.
Okay.
But they're not shown. I thought they were, but I guess not.
Well, yeah.
5.
Ooh, another 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was also going to say 5.
Good grief. I'll go last. Courtney?
5.
Wait, so this is so far in general better than Lilo and Stitch because we had a 5.5 and a 4.9.
Was that 4.9?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
because they left out something that she really liked.
Yeah.
Really like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the
I
twins
thought yours
didn't.
would be a little.
The twins
lower.
didn't knock you down from
Jordan.
4.9.
No, they didn't, because overall there were so many other things about
Yeah.
it that it's a stunning movie to watch.
Yep.
I loved the original.
Yep.
And it's the original, just live action. So there's no reason for me to take any points off because
You loved it.
I loved it. The twins were whatever, but like for me, Toothless and the scenery
he's
and
great.
the score and the storyline way outweigh the fact that I was a little annoyed by some characters that I loved in
Yeah.
the original.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, Logan.
Well,
Come on.
look, for our listeners that follow us from the beginning, you'll learn that my scale is about the only one that matters because they're just at 5 every time.
No,
Giving
No.
all of them a
Here's
5.
okay.
I
Snow
know,
White.
I know.
Snow White was not a 5, and
let
I'm pretty
me-
sure Mufasa wasn't
Yeah.
either. I don't even remember what we rated
let me
it, but
al-
those were
I
not
don't think we
5s.
rated that one because we didn't review it.
Let
We
me
didn't
also
review
state
Mufasa.
this about
Oh, we
a
didn't?
scale.
No.
No.
A scale is
Did we see
supposed
it
to be like.
Sorry. Squirrel. Squirrel.
I would like to point this out about Logan and his scale. So a scale is from 1 to 5 is rating whether you think a movie is good or not, right? So like giving yourself, you keep saying this phrase of giving ourselves room to grow. But like if I think a movie's legitimately a 5, I shouldn't give it a 3 just so I can give another movie down the road a 5, you know? Like if I
understand
legitimately
that,
think it's
but
good.
if you
Like I shouldn't not give it a 5 just because I don't want to give
I
it my
mean-
score.
okay, imagine you give 5 different movies a 5, and then you see one that is so much better than those. What are you going to do?
A 5.
I give it a 5. That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
highest.
so they're all even.
It's still a
Score
good
you can-
movie.
That's
No,
fine.
but
Again, we
again,
can all have a different
Snow
reason
White
behind our
wasn't
scale.
a 5.
Yeah.
We can all have a different reason behind our scale.
If you want to get like very specific like that of what kind of a 5 it is, we would have to have a scale from like 1 to
And
500.
And let
you
me
know,
say
to really
this.
get like minute about the points. 1
what
to
decimals
5
are for.
is-
I would also like to point out for everyone listening that not only did I do my homework, but I also rated a Universal product
higher
higher
Yeah. than 2 Disney live actions.
than 2. So, I mean, there's room to grow. There's room to grow.
Okay, what about your scale?
Give us your
I
score.
don't want to now.
Oh, well, too bad. It's the end of the show.
I was going to say 4.5,
Okay.
which I thought was really good.
It is.
It's great. I just
I would have
yeah.
been super
What
happy
did
with
you
that.
use?
All I meant by mine being the only one that matters, which was a joke, is that if you ever hear me give a 5, you're gonna know how much I thought of it.
Yeah.
You're
Versus-
gonna
Oh,
know
but I
how
really
good it
thought this was so
actually
good. Like,
is.
It was.
I think
It was
I
great.
might have even got teared up once.
Yeah.
I got teared up like
he
3
teared it
times.
multiple times.
Yeah, like
I tear up at
didn't-
every movie though.
Yeah,
So
all
that's not
3
a
of
good
them he
scale.
has so far.
Yeah, see, I don't. But like,
Logan's
got
tears
teared
in a
up.
movie is not a good
but
scale.
like, I wasn't sobbing like Peach Dragon or Dumbo. Those were bad.
Those are
but-
bad tears. These were great tears.
Yeah, those were sad.
No, 4.5. Which
Good.
yeah, I mean it'll be a while before I get a 4.5.
Yeah.
again,
So
probably.
guys, I mean, I don't know, $12, $13, whatever you're paying to
Yeah.
go see the
Maybe
movie.
a matinee is cheaper. I feel like matinees used to be cheaper. I don't know
Yeah.
if they still are.
Us
We can
either.
only go in the evening, so.
Us either. So go see it. Check it out. I think you won't be disappointed, and I think
Yeah.
you'll love it.
Yeah. Oh, there was one thing I did want to point out that I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but the director and creator of How to Train Your Dragon is the same director and creator of Lilo and Stitch.
I didn't pay
I didn't.
attention
Yeah,
to
little
the
fun
screen
facts.
credits.
Yeah.
The voice of
Chris Sanders is the voice of
Stitch.
Stitch, but he also created Stitch. Like that was his
Yep.
storyline, and so he's one of the directors and co-directors and co-creators of Lilo and Stitch. Forgive me for not knowing the other guy's name, but both of them.
Dean Dubois or
Yes.
something.
the
Dubois.
boy or something. But those two are also the same exact two that co-directed and created. Now it's based off of a
Yeah.
book series,
Right.
But they created this movie as well. So I thought that was kind of a cool little tidbit. I'm like,
neat.
good for
Yeah.
him, like having
Yeah.
2 like of his classic
Yeah.
animated movies that did so
Yeah.
well, and they got to be brought to life in the same year. and
There
he
you
also
go.
co-directed and directed both of the live actions.
So you know what that means? Cha-ching.
Yeah, he's
He
having a
did
good
ju-
year.
He's having a good year. Like he could
I thought that was
probably
cool.
never have another year. He could retire.
Right.
And it would all be okay.
Sail off into the
That's
sunset.
it. Like he can be done and go, look what I did for
Yeah.
Disney and Universal.
Yeah. You're welcome, both of you.
Oh, you're welcome.
What can I say?
Sorry, Courtney.
Were there
Anyways, sorry to.
Were there any other? We've still got a minute if we want. Were there any other items or scenes or anything you wanted to discuss or
No, I just
or
as a kid,
interpret?
again getting to be the oldest person here, the one of the movies that I remember like flying in the clouds, The Never-Ending Story. And you guys have probably never seen it.
No, I've seen
No.
it.
Have you seen
yeah.
it? Yeah.
I
so
was just
like,
picturing Aladdin, a whole new
I was
world.
going to say
Magic
he thought
carpet
that
ride the whole
scene
time.
when
the
when
magic-
Asher and
a
they're
whole
flying.
new world. Oh, Denver the Doodle just stumbled awake. But yeah, so like I remember the scene where the boy is riding.
Yeah.
I don't even know what do we call that.
I don't remember his
It's
name.
a creature. It's
Yeah.
not a dog. It looks like a
dog.
giant fluffy
It's like a dog and a
retriever.
dragon
all combined.
had a baby.
Yes, it's furry instead of
I
whatever
don't
a dragon
remember
is.
what he is though.
I don't
or what his
either.
name
But-
was.
And y'all are like, we thought you liked it. Yeah, I'm old. It's been a long time. But I do remember as a kid, I saw that in the movie theater. And so I remember watching that and that's, taking you above the clouds and, all that kind of thing. And I kind of had the same feeling when Astrid,
Yeah.
when she's sitting up there and she raises her arms out
Yeah, and
she
touches the
relaxes and
clouds.
she touches the sky. And so I thought, that's so cool. And
Yeah.
it's doing for kids what because
Yeah.
when I was a kid, Disney was out. There were other, of course, I think that was actually, and we may do a podcast on it sometime on the eras of Disney movies
Yeah.
and where they all fit.
Yeah.
Just, little tag for future. But I think like a lot of the time I was a kid was actually the dark period for Disney. It was not like their best work.
Cute and fluffy.
It was not cute and fluffy. Fox and the Hound,
Yeah.
things like that. And then, of course, The Never-Ending Story is not Disney. And so, but it was cool. And I think that kids are going to see this
Yeah.
and they can see, number one, they can be different.
Yeah.
And number two, that they might even
And
be
you can
right for
yeah.
being different.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
we're not supposed to all be the same.
Yeah.
And there are different ways to look at things. And I think that was part of this. Like, here these Vikings were, whether you watched the animated or this version, the Vikings were only coming at this from one perspective,
Yeah.
right?
They were
the
our
dragons
enemy.
hated them. They
Yeah.
were attacking them.
Must
That's
destroy.
the enemy, must destroy. The dragons, on the other hand, had a whole different side to that. They really weren't trying to hurt the people,
Yeah.
right?
They were
But-
forced to find the food and then defending themselves
Yeah.
because
Their survival depended on it.
Right. And so I think that there's a lot of great things that you can pull from that. And that's how I think movies should be.
yeah, it's got a great lesson in the end. And that scene when Astrid and Hiccup are flying through the clouds, like it gave me chills
Yeah,
as an
it's so
adult.
cool.
Like I
So
thought
cool.
it was so cool.
Way better than Magic Carpet Ride. Although that was really cool too in the original Aladdin.
See, when I
But
was
you
a
had the
kid,
Northern Lights.
Yes.
when I was a kid, Aladdin took Jasmine through the clouds, and that's what I remember. So. I just wanted to before we started recording, we talked about some scenes that they're up for interpretation and things like that, and we hadn't gotten to them yet, and I didn't know if we wanted to, but maybe you'll remember what that was. But for me, I loved. It wasn't just the CGI of Toothless; it was more so when you watch the animated, they can make him so emotional and so goofy and like very dog-like, and that's their intent. But when they
He's
did
a
it with
pet.
the CGI, it almost draws you in as this is a giant pet, and it was
Yes.
really cool to see
Yes.
all of that look almost the same, but real.
And
So that was one of my
yeah.
favorite parts.
And his expression.
But,
I think
yeah.
they did really good
Yes.
with his eyes
Yeah.
and his mouth and,
Yes.
and how they worked all of that.
So cute.
and
Yes.
and his grunting. Anybody that's a dog person, And I guess a cat person, I'm not a cat person. Maybe you can talk about your cat's feelings. But for the rest of us that are dog people, I feel like we all know our dogs growls. There's different growls. There's different grunts. There's,
They communicate with us in their own way.
And he does a lot of...
Oh, that's what it was. So we were talking about the flying through the cloud scene. That was the interpretation. So that's a wonderful turning point scene for Astrid. And then all of a sudden... Toothless realizes he's in the midst of all of the dragons migrating to their nest, and he takes them, and we were like, why are you taking them? Like, that's a terrible place to take them. So do you interpret that as he wants to show them what's going on, or do you interpret that as, and this is the one I lean towards, he's a little scared to turn around and fly the other way. He's like, man, I got sucked up in this. I'm gonna have to go. I'll protect them, but I'm gonna have to fly with them. Those are some things that I liked in this, that they kept the same, but now it felt like there was more moments to interpret how you want to interpret.
Right, and I think you can do it either way.
Yeah, I think it could go either way. I feel like for me, for that particular scene where he takes them to the hive or whatever, in the animated movie, it felt more like he got stuck.
Right,
in
that's
this
what I thought.
Thing, you kind of
because he kind of looks, his eyes get big.
And
his eyes get big, and he's like, uh-oh,
like I'm gonna do my best to get in this. So like, let's play it cool. You guys kind of duck, like In this version, I actually ended up leaning a little bit more towards the way of he was trying to show them, because there's a particular dialogue with Astrid and Hiccup that I don't quite remember from the animated, and maybe I'm just remembering it wrong, but she's like specifically saying like, well, I get this is cool, but like, you've got to kill a dragon tomorrow. Like, what are you going to do? Like, how are you going to change people's mind? Like, basically saying like, this is cool that you have this pet dragon, but like at the end of the day,
figured out that you figured out that there's a meaning here. You have figured out that these are not mean creatures.
Well, yeah, but like in that moment, she just knows Toothless. Like we all just know Toothless, like, and so she kind of like has a very poignant line where basically she's saying like, "That's cool, this is awesome, but like the situation doesn't change,
right? Like what you gonna do?
There are enemies. They attack us. Like, what are we just supposed to do?"
Well,
and
I
then
think
at
she
that
even
moment,
says, choose a side.
Yeah, and in that moment, and this is where they're just flying through the clouds with Toothless, and then in that moment, you kind of hear Toothless, like his ears twitch, like he hears the call or whatever, and he's less surprised, at least to me, in this one. And then he kind of like, it's almost like he's hearing their conversation, and he's at a trusting point now with them. That he's like, you're right, we are kind of at an impasse, something needs to change, so let me show you why we're doing what we're doing. Almost in a way of like, maybe if I show you this, you can help me. So it was strange, because in the animated, I got totally the other vibe of like, I'm stuck, we'll get through this, and then it just happens to help them figure it out.
Well, and because you said that, also when they're up there, the flight does not start out all beautiful. Like, she's scared to death. And Toothless knows exactly what he's doing. Because it's not until she she puts that hand out and she says, "I'm so sorry, Toothless." And then he's like, "Okay,
now you are."
All right. I know you're sorry now. Like, it's kind of like putting me on the little teacups. I'm gonna be real sorry real quick.
This is another minor difference, but because you talked about killing the dragon the next day, I want to point out, I wrote this down as a difference because I'm pretty sure I remember when they're at the stadium and Hiccup's waiting in the little tunnel, and Astrid comes up to support him. Doesn't he tell her in the original, whatever happens, make sure they don't hurt Toothless? Or take care of Toothless. He doesn't say that this time. I was waiting for that. And they have a couple of good moments and encouraging each other, but he specifically didn't say that. I don't know.
I thought that was an interesting.
He doesn't tell her to protect Toothless, which to me was a big deal in the moment.
Yeah, but then the scene where they're later, where she finds him up there, and she's like, it's almost like she has to convince him. I thought in the animated, she pushed harder. A little bit. It's not that the scene's a lot different. I just felt like in the animated, she pushes a little harder, because he's like, I mean, this is terrible, and it's over, and my dragon's going to die, and it's all bad, and this is just awful, and where am I going to go? Like, I can't live here anymore. And she's like, well, in this, when she looks at him, I really felt like there was a lot of feeling, because she says, and I bet he's really scared now. I bet he's really scared. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Because remember, when Toothless hears him,
He came running.
He came running.
who
Literally,
has a
'cause he couldn't
broken
fly.
tail because he
Fly.
couldn't fly.
Yeah.
He climbed out of the pit. He
And
comes
up to
up.
that point, hadn't been able to figure out how to get out of the pit before.
Right. But does for Hiccup.
Yep.
And I felt like that was a little bit more impactful in the live action than it probably was in the animated. Maybe it wasn't for you, but for me, I thought
Yeah.
it was. And here he comes, and this is a dragon. Like, he gets along with a dragon all the time. Like,
Yeah.
think about that dragon. I don't remember the name of it. It's the fire one.
It's Nightmare. Talking about the
one
worst
that
of the
catches
worst.
on
Yeah,
fire.
the
I
worst
think
of
it's
the
like
worst. Like,
Nightmare,
he's like,
but
yeah.
let me look it up.
And so here comes and he's like, no, like, I'm fixing to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
This is my boy.
This is my boy. Leave him alone. And I'm gonna. And he could have escaped.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
he's-
maybe not because he couldn't fly because he didn't have his
Yeah.
extra tail piece. So, but he could have tried. He could have
Yeah.
ran up the hill and on the
Yeah.
fence.
But
And
he fights
jumped away.
for
But he stays.
Hiccup, so yeah.
And then is that what it was?
The monstrous nightmare, but they
Monstrous
called
Nightmare.
it Nightmare.
Yeah. So, Courtney, any closing thoughts?
We had a couple other little differences. I'm not even going to bring them up, but for anybody that wants to call us out and say there were differences, it wasn't shot for shot. We had a couple others, not just lines, but
Yeah.
like the tribes thing. We talked about that
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah. Again,
then
and
little things,
diversity.
but
I think they wanted to bring diversity in, and diversity is great because
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
very diverse,
In
society
this one,
now.
Yeah, in this one,
Yeah.
Burke is the best of all these tribes together, trying to figure this out.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah.
get the dragon problem figured out.
Yeah. So, I mean, think of the United Nations for dragons.
Yeah.
And yet they're still not doing very well.
And they're not doing great.
They,
Yeah,
Stoic can only hammer him in the head so many times.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
they really
And-
needed Hiccup's help.
Closing
Yeah.
thought. I feel like this is a great movie for people with disabilities. And I say that because these people were so bad at fighting the dragons that a lot of them, had to have extra, prosthetic
Yeah.
devices that even way back then they've created, right? I think, what is it? Would I use my swimming?
Oh,
would I
yeah.
use my swimming hand or my hammer
Will I
hand?
use my bucket hand if they light us on fire, or my swimming hand if they
They
jump us
flood our
overboard?
boats.
Yeah. And then what happens to Hiccup in both?
He loses his leg.
He loses his leg. And it's okay because when they fix him, he has the perfect foot now to control what? The saddle and the
And his
And
foot
it's the
matches
same
Hiccup's.
side.
I mean,
This side as Toothless.
matches
as
Toothless's
Toothless.
tail.
Yeah. So it's like all pressure, but like
That is
you've
sweet.
got a dragon with a prosthetic.
Yeah.
At least I don't know because it's two main characters with prosthetics, but I feel like I saw a bunch.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe
Yeah.
10
I
other
mean, they've been
characters,
fighting
like they're
dragons for
minor,
a while.
they're extras, but they're extra Vikings
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
prosthetics. But I mean, there again, like they just adapted and continued to go and fight and do,
And at the end of the day, we're heroes.
that's it. And so I feel like that's a great part of the movie. So all in all, we all liked it.
Yes. So good.
555 4.5.
There you go.
Hate me. It's fine. I can take
No
it.
hate. No hate.
Highest rating I've given so far.
It's true.
It is. Yeah,
It's true.
yeah.
Which tells you it's a good movie. So,
I think you could classify anything 3.5 and up as a win.
yeah, agreed.
Right?
Worth
Out
it.
of
Worth a
5.
watch, whether you go see it in the theaters or whenever it comes to streaming.
If you see us rate something a 2, don't go. It's bad.
Yeah.
Bad. If we're on, and we probably won't even do a review. So you probably won't ever hear that. There you go.
So there you have it. There's our thoughts on How to Train a Dragon live action. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. Go check it out. And hope you guys enjoyed hearing our thoughts. Let us know if you guys go see it, what you thought. And we will see you guys next time on To the Magic and Beyond.